All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a review of the Man United versus Arsenal game. Unfortunately, we lost 2-1, but this is probably the first time that I feel okay about us losing to United, which is really weird. Joining with me, I have, first of all, two guests that have been on the show quite regularly. So let me first of all introduce Ola. Say hello to the people, Ola.
Yeah, how you doing, people? Another loss on the road. Not surprising with that fucking blue kit neither.
Yeah. Burn that blue kit, really. Of course, and this weirdly in the couple of years I've known him, the first time I've had him on for a review. Weirdly.
No, that's not true. You had me on last season.
Had you on for a review, bro.
Yes, you did. You had me on last season when you beat us 2-0.
Oh, okay. I forgot that.
Cast your mind back to yesterday's preview when you said an elephant never forgets.
Hello to the people.
Right.
Hello, ladies and gents. How you doing?
Okay. So let's talk about that game. Man United versus Arsenal. It was a pretty weird kind of feeling going into the game. I know me and you, Ola, with Rod did the preview, and all three of us were talking about the game, and none of us really had that kind of sense of excitement for it. Pretty much, it just felt like what it was, kind of an end of the season type of meaningless game. And even I expected to feel a little bit more excited going into today, but that excitement still didn't really kick in for me. Did it kick in for you?
I mean, look, that 11 that we got on is probably, that's with the eye to Thursday. So these games usually means a lot during the season, but unfortunately this time around, it meant more to one team than the other, and it meant a lot more to Manchester United. They wanted it more. They clearly should have wanted it more. So in terms of, the excitement of the fixture, because we knew for weeks, especially when we drew Atletico Madrid, that this was going to be a dead rubber game. And to be fair to the lads that we put out, they didn't treat it as a dead rubber game. They took it as a way to show probably the incoming manager, whoever's coming in. They put themselves on notice and let them know that, look, you want to get rid of people, or you want to reshuffle the squad. This is me. Take a look at me, and playing against a very strong Manchester United team. I thought they gave a very good account of themselves. So, but congratulations to United for cementing their Champions League spot. And what better team to help you do that? We do this on a regular. We do this on a regular. We cemented Newcastle's safety in the league.
I must admit, you were so on point calling us Santa Claus, literally months and months ago. And ever since then, that's all we keep doing. Gifts.
Just wrapping up gifts and giving it to people. So, yeah. But there you have it, But good game all in all. And I'm sure we'll come on to the nooks and crannies of the game.
Yeah. Stel, seeing our starting lineup, what was your immediate thoughts? I mean, we clearly almost tried to do something very similar to what you guys did around this time last season. Just play a bunch of youngsters and hope for the best. What was your kind of impression of our starting lineup when you saw it?
My immediate reaction was the polar opposite of what everyone on social media was saying. I didn't think it was going to be a hammering. I told you the other day, I thought we were going to win 2-1. So I got that one right. I didn't do the lottery, unfortunately. But times have changed. I mean, you didn't have Stepanovs, you didn't have Luzhny, you didn't have Sigan, you didn't have all these other budget players. You had young, hungry footballers that had a point to prove. I don't think United wanted it more than Arsenal. I just think we were more professional and the experience showed.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think you lot deserve something out of this game.
Yeah, Jose said that as well in his post-match.
Did he? Okay, well, there you go. There you go. But, you know, I just think you guys were quite unfortunate. But yeah, when I saw the lineup, I didn't expect anything less. You know, obviously you had the brand new central defensive partnership. They did very well, but I didn't expect us to run riot. To be fair, I really didn't, because for me it seemed like, and I know I'm probably going to get slated for this, it seemed like the Arsene Wenger testimonial more than anything. It was just so that you guys wouldn't make a show of yourselves, and for us to just get that result, make it as professional as possible, and get the win. It wasn't about trouncing Arsenal. And to be honest, I think even if we went full pelt, I don't think it would have been a hiding anyway. But anyway.
Yeah, I agree. It was. I think that's the perfect description. I might even call the video that, actually. The Arsene Wenger into testimonial. It's a very accurate description. That's how it felt. The build-up, the game wasn't really particularly intense. There wasn't any kind of wild challenges. Not really. There was nothing over the top from what I can remember. We just kind of went through the motions. I think the things that's really impressed me, let's talk about positive stuff. Bearing in mind that we've lost, so I'm going to try and talk about as many positive things as possible. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, wow. What a performance that was. Deserving man of the match, which shows you, even though we lost, he still got man of the match. Ola, were you impressed?
I was very impressed with the lad. I mean, we've been crying all season. All season, we've been crying for the lad to play right bang in the middle next to Xhaka. And for me, he outperformed a very experienced Xhaka. You know, look, he's got bags of confidence. I mean, sometimes when you see some of the stuff he does on the ball, he's so flawless in the way he does it. Very, very confident lad. He's almost bordering on arrogance sometimes because he knows his confidence in his own ability. And I love that about young players that have the swagger to go out and back themselves to pull off certain moves in the game. And as for several facets in the game as well, I thought he controlled the midfield. He put himself about. He didn't show no signs of laziness. I mean, it was a complete performance from him, and well done to him. You know, it's something we've all. Well, I speak for majority of the Arsenal fans. You know, we've all wanted to see this lad right in the middle of the park, and I thought he delivered today. It was very, very good. I was so impressed with him. So well done to him. You know, it's just unfortunate to get man of the match when you're on the losing team, but you know. It just goes to show how well he did today, and hopefully we'll see many more of him.
How about you, Stel? Because the one thing I do like about having you on the show, you, Robbie, and Rod actually, is you can leave your bias away and just analyze certain kind of teams' kind of pros and cons. So in terms of Ainsley Maitland-Niles, how did you see his performance? Was he deserved man of the match for you?
Well, you saw. I showed you my notes before we actually went on air. And it was even before full time. I said, you know, the kid is my man of the match. It's the first time I've actually ever seen him play, so I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, you read about certain players on social media, and some get hyped up, some get really, really they get smoke blown up their ass. But I can see why he's so popular. The opening 20 minutes, he looked very energetic, very strong, covered a lot of ground, and it continued. You know, he wasn't afraid to get stuck in, and he's the kind of. I mean, look, let's not make any bones about it. You kind of expect that from a young lad going to Old Trafford making his debut. You expect that kind of ferocity, that kind of enthusiasm, but he didn't look out of place. He didn't look like a player that was scared of the occasion, regardless of whether it was a dead rubber game. It's Man United away for an Arsenal team. So yeah, I was very impressed with his performance. I liked how quick he was on the turnover in terms of winning the ball back and then breaking. He wasn't afraid to get forward. His distribution is decent. The one thing you will notice from him, and you can replay this in the summer, he'll come back bulky. he'll come back like he's just hit the gym, and you will need that from a central midfielder. It's all well and good being nimble-footed, because that's what he is. He's got a very low centre of gravity, very good on the ball, from what I've seen anyway. But he needs that upper body strength, because he does look like he can be pushed off the ball a little bit. But yeah, he should work. He'll be hitting the gym in the summer. He'll be coming back. He'll be eating those protein bars, eating those protein shakes, a bit of creatine on the cornflakes, and you'll see a good player. The one thing I don't want to see from the new manager is to loan him out. He looks ready to be your first team. I'm not like a regular, but playing the odd 20 minutes and just wean him in.
I agree with you there, Stel. I agree with you there 100%. And that's why I thought, these kids, especially him, actually put whatever manager's coming in with this game on notice, because whatever manager's being shortlisted for the job to come in, they would have watched this game today, and they probably be thinking, okay, let me see what I can work with here. And he definitely put himself out there today. So fair play. You called it right. You called it right, Stel.
Thank you. We're agreeing on things. This is good. This is good progress.
Go for United and Arsenal fans, though. That's what I'm saying.
Well, don't get carried away. Don't get carried away.
We'll have this discussion next season, yeah.
Here, right? And then probably the second one that really impressed me was Mavropanos. Very, very, very cool display. I mean, considering he conceded 2 goals, but to be honest with you, and maybe Ola, you may disagree with this, but I actually thought it was the best out of the back 4. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you. And him conceding 2 goals, I don't think any of the 2 goals was down to him. I thought it was more with Xhaka than him for both goals.
Yeah.
Look, this lad got brought in by Sven. It's not a Wenger signing. That's number one. Wenger didn't even see this boy until
Wenger was going to loan him.
He was going to loan him. He didn't see it until he showed up at training. Then he thought, oh my God, we got a player here, and he decided to keep him. And for a little while, he was even pondering of probably bringing him in the first team. And I thought he gave a very good account of himself today as well. Especially Chambers. Him and Chambers, I thought both of them did really well. They had a good chemistry between them. For a lad that's coming from Olympiacos, it was on Sven's radar for a long time. Sven Mislintat has been watching him for quite some time, and it looks like a very, very good signing. He looks confident. There's a lot of positives in his game. He reads the game so well for a young lad. I mean, he's only 19, 20, something like that. He's got bags of potential, and under a manager that will come with defensive drills and nurture his abilities and attributes. I think this guy could turn into a very, very, very good player in the future. So on what we saw today, I thought he did well, and it was right. It was right for Mourinho to praise him as well, because he felt he stifled Lukaku today. Lukaku didn't really have a great deal of joy against him, and they did their job. They defended narrowly rather than pick a man up in them wide zonal spaces, and they didn't leave a lot of spaces in the middle, and that's why United found it so hard to break us down today. I mean, after the equalizer from Mickey, they found it very, very difficult to break us down. We were blocking a lot of shots, and I thought
that's what I really liked. It was a very committed performance. I mean, considering the kind of bullshit they've been watching all season away from home, I mean, I was very, very impressed with just the commitment that they were showing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of why, don't get me wrong, I never like it when Arsenal lose. Let's not get it twisted. But when it's a game where there's nothing on the line, there is more important things at stake in a different competition. And the boys that do play are young and inexperienced, and they actually put in effort what can I? How can I take? How can I criticize?
I mean, if you look at it, Chig, there's one thing that a lot of us probably would have wanted today, apart from this outcome in itself, is a complete performance. Do not get embarrassed out there. Don't get bullied out there, and don't let Sanchez score. And I think they did all of that.
Yeah.
I
was very worried Sanchez might.
I think they did all of that. I thought to myself, we didn't get outclassed today. Our player got man of the match, and in my opinion, United just they played a professional game. They knew what they wanted out of the game. They knew what they came for. They came for all 3 points because it was significant to their season. They've been second all season long, and they got Liverpool breathing down their neck, for that spot. And it probably would have been more of a disaster for United dropping points today than for us. And I thought overall we can't grumble. It's a result and a performance that we can all live with. It's a loss. We never like losing, but we can. Well, for certainly, I can live with this result and move on. It's not like we've won any game this year anyway. So fuck it.
I hear you. And staying with the positivity, probably one of the last positivities was the idea that Mkhitaryan actually got some minutes. Stel's boy, kebab boy, as he would like to call it. He managed to score, but he was very respectful. Didn't celebrate, didn't do anything, was just smiling. That was a nice little image, wasn't it? That was a nice little image.
Are you talking to me? Do you know shall I tell you what's funny about what you just said prior to you mentioning me? When you said he didn't do anything in terms of his celebration. Listen, I've been his biggest critic from when he was at United. I never criticized.
He hates Mkhitaryan. This is not an Arsenal thing. Always hate him.
Do you know what? Listen, I mean, I can't doubt his ability. He's a very good footballer, very, very good footballer. And when he's in top form, it's very difficult to find a better attacking midfielder in the Premier League. And I'm just going to say it. When he's in top form, it's very difficult to find a better attacking midfielder in the Premier League. He's got practically everything. The problem with Mkhitaryan, and I will say this to him blue in the face, is his commitment. When the chips are down, he's nowhere to be found. And this is the thing, when he was at United, I mean, he had some unbelievable performances, especially in the Europa League, especially in the Europa League. But then you got to think, well, is that your level, mate? Because, he was asked to do jobs, okay, he tracked back, but he just seemed very lackadaisic. It's almost as if he wasn't interested in doing the donkey work. And I know full well that when he joined us, I remember we played Man City, I think it was our fourth game of the season or fifth game of the season. Mourinho took him off at half-time. They had a massive bust-up, and he put in a transfer request. Now, what kind of commitment is this? Because you got taken off against Man City, you don't play for United anymore? I'm pretty sure there's more to it than that. But again, the commitment. And when he joined Arsenal, me and Rod said, Arsenal are the right club for him because your fans take to players very early. And players like Aubameyang has been fantastic. Lacazette has been fantastic. And Mkhitaryan has done very well at Arsenal. And he'll get that love from Arsenal because he's an attacking player. He's a flair player. You love to see that. I mean, don't get me wrong. We love seeing that at United, but we didn't see enough for him. The only difference is, and I go back to something that I'm probably going to get slated for, a lot of Arsenal players are yellow. And by that, I mean their attitude, they're weak, their mentality. And Mkhitaryan fits that, which is why when he joined you guys, we were like, well, yeah, I mean, you're getting a great player, but you're also getting that shit attitude as well. So him scoring today, yeah, it pissed me off because I don't like him. But at the same time, that's what you're expecting of him. He's a good player. He's a cracking player. So, yeah.
You're doing so well with the Arsenal fans in the chat room.
I don't know what they're saying, and I'm probably getting quotas. But what? Listen, at the end of the day, right? He's their guy. They're going to stick up for him. Anything negative I say about him is going to be taken the wrong way anyway. I'm just telling you what I've seen. I've seen players. I mean, okay, give an example. today, right? Paul Pogba scored the goal, but did he do anything great? Not really. No, he was trying to do the difficult things. Listen, just do the good things, do the easy things. You don't have to try and make them look good. But he was trying to make everything look so Hollywoodized. It pissed me off. I mean, he had a decent game. He didn't have a great game. You know, he's trying to beat 2 or 3 players. And this is what I'm talking about, commitment. If you want to be doing flicks and tricks, good. Do it when you're 3 or 4-0 up or 5-0 up, not when you're chasing a game, you know? And both of our goals came from out wide. Both were scrappy goals. But that's how you win leagues. That's how you win games. And that's the one thing that you guys have missed. This is what I'm talking about, being yellow and having that mentality. You know, Arsenal have always had this ideology where they have to score pretty goals. It's not about that, you know? And yeah, anyway, I'm going to go on.
No, to the contrary, though, you're getting a lot of love in the chat room. And, you know, you have to agree on the mentality of Arsenal. And a very, very good example of that today. I was pissed off when I saw this earlier on in the game. So Xhaka dropped Sanchez.
Oh, before you go on, Ola, Stel was a big fan of Xhaka, which I was about to come on to Xhaka. I was about to do the.
I'm a fan of his footballing ability. As in his range of passing.
It's all right. Go on.
Stop trying to throw me under the bus here.
I'm
a guest on your show, motherfucker.
And this attitude here is not even to do with the actual football that Xhaka played today. Even though I leaned those 2 goals that were considered on him today, that was I'm gonna place that on his doorstep. But from the get-go, it pissed me off because it drops Sanchez, fouls him, and then the next thing, it goes to see if he's all right, tries to help him up. And I'm thinking, dickhead, what the fuck are you doing? Leave him there,
trying to avoid the yellow
walk
card,
away.
Was he not trying to avoid the yellow card there? You know,
all right.
You kind of soften up the referee a bit.
So check this out. It doesn't matter because sometimes when you do that, you're still gonna. I've seen it so many times where it don't matter how much you kiss the person that you just fouled on the arse, you're still getting your yellow. Sometimes you're gonna get the red. You don't, because the ref's mind's already made up.
You do not know English referees against the World Cup, right?
Well, maybe in the World Cup it'll work. I mean, Shaka's always been a marked man, so if they were gonna do it, they were gonna do it.
That's true too.
You know. So check this out. Ashley Young then fouls Mkhitaryan, and what does he do? Leaves him there, walks away, and I says to myself, that's the difference in mentality. Ashley Young ain't come here to make no friends. He's Billy no mates right now for the duration of 90 minutes. Every time you fouled Mkhitaryan, he walked off and just left him there on the ground. And that's the difference in the actual mentality that we've got going on at this club. And that has to change. That has to change.
But Ashley Young eats bird poo, so who wants to be his friend?
So it's funny to say that stuff because my mate Kenny, right, he supports United. Shout out to him if he's listening, and he absolutely detests Ashley Young. But whenever I see him play, he does bits for you guys. Am I looking at something completely different? Admittedly, I don't know what week in, week out. But
what you got to bear in mind is that Ashley Young is one of those Marmite players, whether you either love him or you hate him. I mean, I'm kind of in the middle. I mean, he's been at the club since, 2012, I want to say. And he's not been a bad player for us. You're not going to get fireworks from him. You're not going to get, he's not going to beat 6 players and put the ball, on someone's head. But his delivery is fantastic. His commitment is good. And that's what you want, We had that with Ji-Sung Park, He wasn't a great footballer, but the commitment was there. And that's what you get with Ashley Young. You ask him to play left back, he plays left back. Right back, he plays there. Left wing, right wing. He's even played up front for us. That versatility is there. I mean, I can see why your mate doesn't like him because he's got an arsey side to him. But at the same time, it's like, well, you need that in a footballer. Every team needs a shitty player, don't they? Let's be honest.
Okay.
You might say, I don't know if you lot got that shitty player. Well, all right, maybe look
sure. And the Herrera is a bit nasty, isn't he? And Herrera's a bit of a nasty one.
Even Valencia, he leaves beats on people all the time, and I just think we need more of that in our team. We definitely in short supply of it, and we probably got players with that personality, but Wenger hasn't done enough to bring it out of them. He likes them to be all nicey, talk all nice.
But that was never really
the
case, was it? That was never really the case when he had Vieira and he had Keown and all these other players. That fighting spirit was always there. I just think that the players that you're mentioning have that in them. They don't have the self-discipline to bring it out when they should and control it, if that makes sense. Vieira had these moments where he'd lose his top, but he was very controlled when it came to his temper. Same with Keown. They did it when they had to. I think the players that you're referring to, possibly, I'm thinking off the top of my head, maybe Aaron Ramsey's one of them. He's got a bit of a nasty side to him, and even Wilshere. But they show it. They show it when they really shouldn't, and it's all about self-discipline and control. But again, you're probably right. It probably is the manager that may be shackling them, so to speak. The next guy might not be so I don't know, controlling. I don't know.
Who knows? Well, only time will tell. We'll see once we know who we are appointing first.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I guess in terms of the game, just going back to the game, I think I could almost see United's goal coming because around about 5 minutes before, there was this cross that was whipped in. And funny enough, it was nearly Fellaini that got on the end of it. And I thought, this jammy big idiot is going to fucking score this last-minute winner against us, isn't he? And I literally tweeted out, we can't afford one of those. 5 minutes later, the same fucking cross comes in, albeit it's now a looping in one instead of an outswinger. And Fellaini's big head is on the end of it. I mean, Stel, in all the players that I've heard you talk about, Fellaini's one I've never heard you mention. Do you rate Fellaini? Do you think he has his uses? Or is he in the kind of the Ashley Young, Luke Shaw bracket for you?
Do you know what? I actually like him. And I like him because I like him because he's so unorthodox. I like him because he's rubbish. I like him because he gives you that something that you need in the last 10 minutes when you're chasing a game. A lot of people slate Fellaini, and I can understand why. He's nasty. He's like I said, he's unorthodox. He's not a great footballer. But if you look back at his contribution to United over the past few seasons, we're talking about a guy that scored a very crucial goal at Crystal Palace that got us into the top four under Van Gaal. We're talking about a guy that actually assisted Juan Mata in the FA Cup final to beat Crystal Palace. He scored a very crucial goal against Celta Vigo in the Europa League semi-final, second leg, which effectively put us through to the next round. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but I actually made a bet with a few mates. I designed through Photoshop, out of boredom, a picture of Fellaini in a superhero's outfit holding the UEFA Cup before the final. And I said, if he scores a goal, a crucial goal in the semi-final and the final, I'll get this tattooed on me. Needless to say, I was sweating when he got the first goal against Celta Vigo. And in the final, we actually had a great chance, a header, which went straight at the keeper. So I was actually getting ready to call my mate to ink me up. But I like him because, as I said, when it comes to the last 10 minutes, if you're chasing a game, you need those balls in the box, right? Which is effectively what we were doing in the last 10 minutes against you guys. We didn't have any, like Ola said before, we didn't have that outlet in the middle of the park. So we're putting balls out wide, getting Sanchez to put balls in the box, getting Young to put balls in the box. And who was there? Fellaini. Twice he got his head on it. And the second one went in. But I'm not going to lie, Ospina should have done a lot better for that. His positioning was very flat-footed, and it was too much close to his near post instead of the far post. He should have done a lot better with that, to be fair. But, I don't have any problems with Fellaini. It's easy to slate him because of his hair and because he does a lot of stupid things. But if Liverpool had Fellaini under Brendan Rodgers or someone like Andy Carroll that could get a goal in the last 10 minutes when you're chasing a game or if you're drawing, Liverpool would have won the league that season. It's because they got players that are too pretty on the ball and they don't want to play ugly football. That's why you don't win trophies. And that's effectively what happened. He gives you that extra. I'm not saying that he's a league title winning player, but when it comes to chasing a game or being a match winner in situations such as these, proof's in the pudding.
No, I must admit, he does. He's a useful player for you guys. All right. I mean, there's not really a lot we could say about the game. We lost. We kind of thought we would lose. We thought we'd get back.
I got something to say about Fellaini, man. I got something to say about Fellaini.
Shoot, go on.
And again, I think to myself, so they've brought Fellaini on, and they're going to shoot the long balls, try and find him. And at this point, I'm thinking, what's Arsenal's mindset? You know, how are they going to deal with Fellaini? Are they going to, match him for power? And then the first thing it does is leave one on Ospina. Yeah? The first thing it does is leave one on Ospina. Ospina was injured for a little while, and I was expecting our players to, they just let him walk away. None of them went to push him. None of them went to question the type of tackle. None of them. And I'm thinking to myself, right, the next time something like that happens, you lot it's already put your notice. I'm coming in the box and I'm going to cause trouble. Yeah? So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to step up? Are we going to play his game? Because I was watching that program, Fergie versus Wenger, the feud, and when Phil Neville was confessing, I mean, it's like this guy has just been handcuffed by the FBI, and the man was confessing how they were taking rotational fouls on Reyes. And I'm thinking,
always one-liners, I tell you.
I'm thinking to myself, this is confession. I've never. It's like I'm listening to Usher's confessions. Well, I don't know what was going on. You know what I mean? So that for our players would have taken a leaf out of that book. Like, okay, we're going to pick up one of their players and come with some rotation of, we're going to do something today. But no.
The thing is, Ola, to be fair on your players, I mean, it goes back to the whole experience thing. I mean, what Fellaini did was something that you expect from an experienced player, to leave his mark on a player. It wasn't really expected of your players to see that kind of thing. I know it's easy for me to say, but if you had I don't know, Koscielny or Mustafi there, perhaps
they just as pussy as well.
But see, there you go. It goes back to what I said before. Then it goes back to about your players. It's about the mentality again. It goes back to the mentality. I mean, let's be 100% honest. I mean, Arsenal were very brave today. They were very brave, and they were hitting us on the counter attack. Iwobi was getting forward, Welbeck was getting forward. The threats were there. Aubameyang had a great chance. Mkhitaryan had the chance in the first half. So you were creating opportunities. It's just that the problem that you guys have had all season defensively. It's that defensive shape, and that Greek fella Mavropanos that you brought in from Stelas Tripolis in Greece. He could have gone to an Olympiacos. He could have gone to a German side, because they're notorious for finding Greek youngsters like Papastatopoulos that's at Dortmund at the moment.
Yeah.
But Arsenal have brought him in because he's a physical presence. And again, it goes back to the inexperience. If he had 30 or 40 games under his belt for Arsenal, perhaps he would have dealt with Fellaini much, much better, because he'd have been used to the physicality of the Premier League. It all comes in time. But I just thought we did a game. We played a game of let's make Fellaini relevant again. Fellaini ain't scored a goal since the 30th, a Premier League goal since the 30th of September.
September, right? Yeah.
30th of September. That was his last Premier League goal. And we've just played that game of make Fellaini relevant again. Yes, it's a useful tool for Mourinho when Mourinho wants to play by hook or crook, get me a result type of thing. And that's what because he knew he needed it. And that's what he did. By hook or crook, go and get that. And he made himself a nuisance, and fair play to him. He got the goal. But I just thought he really felt like a soccer punch, and it's difficult to take. It's really hard to take, man.
Yeah, but, you know what? I get what you're saying. The only thing I have to say about that, it's on the flip side. We had that half chance with Chris Smalling where he completely ballsed up his chance. I mean, if he'd have connected with that, that'd have been like his fourth goal in like 6 games.
I don't know how he fucked that. I have no idea.
It's Chris Smalling. What do you mean? You don't know how you fucked that? He came from Maidstone via Fulham, for fuck's sake. You mean some of this guy is a decent defender? I'm sorry, I don't get it. He's I don't know what it is. Has he got nudes of every manager's daughters or something? Because every manager picks him.
But here's the thing:
Roy Hodgson, Mourinho, Van Gaal, Ferguson, Moyes. Even Arsene Wenger wanted him. Has he got nudes of these kids, these people's kids or something? Honestly,
Wenger loves him.
Fuck me sideways.
And which just goes to show you Wenger's judgment when it comes to defenders. It's just incredible. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. We lost. Ola, let me ask you this though: do you take any heart now, given that it's going to be a different team? Do you take any kind of encouragement from the way we played today, or do you just think that United were in second gear because there's nothing really on the line? The kids are the kids. They were enthusiastic to play. The two met, and that was what turned it. That was what the game we saw, which is kind of what I think, to be honest. Or
I mean, does
it bode anything? Does it mean anything ahead of Thursday?
It means a little bit, because we've got some senior players in this team today. It wasn't like a full youngster team. You know, Ospina is probably going to play on Thursday. Even though I saw Czech warming up with squinted eyes, and I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with Czech? Is he got cataracts? You know? You know? What's wrong with Czech? You might need to get a grade or two, get that gelato thing, you know what I mean? Fix up that cataract going on with him. He doesn't see anything coming in near post. And I was praying that he went to sit down, you know, because one thing we do need, and I said this before, is consistency between the back four and the goalkeeper. We've done a lot of chopping and changing this half of the season, and you know, it does affect the chemistry of the team. I mean, Mourinho came with the strongest he's got, even from De Gea all the way to Lukaku and Sanchez. He came with the full artillery. And today we've come with youngsters. Obviously, they proved themselves, but we've got someone like Bellerin in there that's going to play on Thursday. We had Monreal that came in, and I thought he did well for most part of the game. And the most important of all was having Mkhitaryan in the side today, and he reminded me of that game that we played against West Ham, because obviously Wenger played that particular squad in preparation for Atletico Madrid. Lacazette scored in that goal. He scored a couple of goals and then went on to score against Atletico Madrid. So maybe Mkhitaryan scoring today will give him at least something to carry into Thursday's game, because I believe he probably would start. That's why he got hooked off that early. So I believe he probably will start against Atletico Madrid on Thursday. And, you know, any tiny little bit of confidence that you can get going into that game, we absolutely need it. At this point in time, do I think our centre backs that we're going to play on Thursday are going to come up with the goods? Only time will tell. I haven't got confidence in if we were going with the two kids that played today, I probably have a bit more confidence in because I thought they showed fantastic chemistry today. But so a lot of the times when we see when we see Mustafi and Koscielny, often you see them in disagreement on things because they're not reading each other. They're not reading each other well, and that's led to mistake after mistake after mistake in the league. And that's why we ended up where that's why we've ended up where we are in sixth place, looking over our shoulder against on teams like Burnley. So defense is absolutely cost us this season. And
Ola, I don't know if you agree with this. And don't worry, Stel, I've got a question for you and United's future in a minute. But in terms of us, Ola, on Thursday, to be honest, I was watching Mavropanos play and I thought to myself, shit, if I'm Chambers, I am worried. Because to me, Mavropanos might have just stolen his place in the team. With that performance, against that level of opposition, away from home, because I don't see Holding being sold, Mavropanos has just stepped up. If I'm Chambers, I'm thinking, shit, because I can't see us bringing in more than one defender. So there's going to be 4 central defenders. You telling me Chambers is also going to stay?
No, I mean, everybody is at risk at this moment in time. I mean, your chopping blood video, man. That's a mad thing. But
people really love that.
yeah, that's a mad thing still. But you know, it's a clean slate for everyone.
Yeah.
When the new manager comes in. Now, when you get that clean slate, it's up to you whether you want to write on the slate that I'm a baller to the new manager or I'm a cockroach to the new manager. And when you write either, then you make the manager's mind up for it. Yeah. And Chambers still has a chance. Everything will be on a clean slate when the new manager comes in, and from there on, we'll see who's you know, we'll get to separate men from boys. Hopefully, we get the type of manager that's going to be ruthless enough to do that based on what he sees.
That's the thing, because I guess the point I was making, I think a lot of people didn't understand that from my chopping block video. And maybe Stel, you might want to chime in here with what your opinion is, because I feel like whoever's going to be the next new manager is already looking at the team. They're already watching the team and their performances and how they're going to play and trying to think to themselves, all right, cool. Well, this guy, I'm impressed with this guy. He can figure in my squad.
Just ask yourself, how did Fellaini survive 3 managers?
Exactly. See what I'm saying? Exactly. As much as people want to criticize the likes of Fellaini and even Ashley Young, bruv.
Yeah.
They have their uses.
Yeah, and Chris Smalling is approaching his 10th season at United. The thing is, I get it. I mean, I remember Jermaine Genius at Spurs, and we were wondering how the fuck did he get into the first team? But obviously, the manager would see something in training and his commitment and the way that he behaves off the pitch. All these little things are factors. Now, okay, I don't want to, piss on your parade or anything, but you can't expect these performances week in, week out from these youngsters that you guys have got in.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like they've had good debuts. They've made a good account of themselves. They haven't embarrassed the club, but you can't expect this to happen every week. I remember players like this is going back, Michael Clegg, Chris Casper. You're thinking of me. You're looking at me going, who the fuck are you talking about? Federico Mkhitaryan scored on his debut against Aston Villa, and everyone was saying, "Oh, he's going to be the next great Italian striker." And what happened? He ended up smoking 40 cigarettes a night in fucking nightclubs in Manchester, the Birdcage with Danny Welbeck, and he ended up at QPR in Cardiff City. So, J. Emmanuel Thomas, another Arsenal player that I can think of, Gavin Hoyt, Justin Hoyt, Fran Merida. I can think of all these youngsters that have come in and have had half-decent debuts and have gone down the shitter. Now, I agree that whichever manager comes in is going to look at these performances and say, right, you're on my radar. But then again, another manager might come in and do what's her name, Sharon Stone did in that film. What's it called? The one, The Gangster's Paradise. What's it fucking called? I forget what it's called now, that film. And she's gone in and saying, everyone's got an A, and it's about you guys have to keep that A. You can't let that performance
drop. It's Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Michelle Pfeiffer, sorry. Yeah, Sharon Stone. It's the same thing. White American woman with blonde hair, same shit. No, come on. What was it? If you're white, you're Ben Affleck. Is that different film as well? That's another one. But it's just listen. You got to, as I said before in the other show, you got to give the manager time and the manager the opportunity to come in and get out. Big up
Brandon Johnson. Basic instinct. You're talking about Brandon Johnson.
Basic instinct. There you go. Thank you, Brandon. Sorry. See, I'm
big up Brandon Johnson there.
It's my age and the long-term memory loss that's kicking in.
Brethren, you seen the interrogation when she peel off the legs there, Mr.
No comment.
What you do?
No comment. No comment. No comment.
That's the best part of the whole movie.
Well, yeah. Look out the window. So look, you've got a good core of youngsters there, right? But you've got to allow the manager time to bring in his own players. I mean, again, we're going to have this conversation time and time again, and you're going to see it a lot on social media. Next season, people are going to get on the manager's back if they don't hit the ground running. You're going to get all sorts of opinions. Chig, your views are going to go up to like 10,000 per show. Yeah. But you've got to be patient. Us as United fans and yourselves as Arsenal fans, we've all been spoiled. We've had some great times. We've seen our teams win everything there is to win. And now it's a transitional period. And are we going to accept a manager to come in and bring in his players and give him time and go one season without winning anything. I don't know. It's going to be a very exciting future for you guys, because you guys are used to seeing the same old man going in the dugout trying to do his zip up, giving the same excuses after every defeat. But yeah, just embrace it and enjoy the ride, because for fuck's sake, I mean, we've got we've had David Moyes. I mean, you can't get any worse than that, can you? Honestly.
If there's a team that could...
There's only two Mac Jones.
Well, look, it's either Alan Pardew or someone of that ilk, and I can't.
Or Roy Hodgson. Shout out to him.
Well, at least Roy Hodgson will keep you up. Alan Pardew, you won't even win a game under him, for fuck's sake. But he will teach you guys how to dance, because that's what he's good at. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move towards the end of this. But before I go, let me just. There was a question for you, Stel, Guna Mort. Shout out to Guna Mort, and he asked, "How do you feel Man United are going to do in our cup, our competition, our FA Cup?"
In the FA Cup. It's a difficult one to say, because there's still another few more weeks. I don't know if injuries are going to take their time. I mean, Lukaku's gone off injured, so I don't know whether it was a serious one or whether it's a precaution. We've got a tough game against Brighton on Friday. Tough game against Brighton. Can you imagine that? The team fighting for relegation. We've got West Ham, another team that's fighting. And then we've got the Ayanapa crew, Watford, who obviously got their heads in Cyprus at the moment, clubbing it up and all that. But I'm going to sit on the fence for the time being, because Chelsea have hit form at the moment. They got a good win yesterday. Hazard looks interested all of a sudden. Morata looks interested all of a sudden, and their backline looks pretty solid.
Giroud's looking good for them, I know.
Exactly.
He's a fucker that loves to score against United. I mean, exactly. I was praying to myself, what we could have done with Giroud today, man. What I would give to have Giroud come off the bench against United, the same way Fellaini came off the bench for you lot. And, that's just the difference right there.
Exactly.
The way I see it, if Rudiger plays, I think we've got half a chance. I think he's a bit temperamental.
I agree. I think he's suspect as well.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I'm not gonna say anything. Sorry, Gunnar Moore, I can't answer that question just yet. I'm firmly sat on the fence. I've got splinters on my arse, mate.
All right, and let's before I come on to Ola with the prediction for Thursday, let's get a prediction from, in theory, the neutral. Stel, what do you think is going to happen on Thursday, honestly?
What do I think is going to happen? I think... fuck it. I'm going to say it. Arsenal are going to go through. Arsenal will go through.
Wow, okay.
Arsenal will go through. And I'll tell you why Arsenal will go through.
Yeah.
Because you attack. And they do not like it, Atletico Madrid. We've seen it this season. Teams that get at them, they do not like it. I know they've got Griezmann. I know they've got Diego Costa. I know they've got Saul and Koke, but you're going to attack them. And we saw midweek that they cannot take an onslaught, like an avalanche of attacks. You were very unlucky. And when you got someone like Lacazette, and I said it the other day, he's a fantastic finisher. What I didn't get the chance to say is that he reminded me a lot like Ian Wright in terms of his agility, in terms of his pace, his strength. But he's a much more positive player. The only thing is he's a confidence player. When he's feeling low, you're not going to get the best. But you know what? He is a traditional striker, and all it takes is half a chance. When he gets that half chance with Mkhitaryan playing as well, I don't know, man. I can see you guys getting it. I can see you guys getting in the final, and it'll be poetic, wouldn't it? Arsenal getting to the final in Lyon, which happens to be Lacazette's previous home. Arsene Wenger's going back to France to win against possibly Marseille, a team that he didn't really get on with when he was at Monaco.
Agreed.
I don't know, man. Some things are written.
Say it because I jinxed us earlier, so I won't say it. I won't say the line.
I mean, that's the wrong mindset that I actually want us to go into that type of gaming. If that result was to come about, because it would just be another bloody testimonial for Wenger when something so massive is on the line for the club. The club first, the fans second, then we worry about Wenger when the job gets done.
But to be honest, if that's what works for them, if that's what motivates them, then fuck it. Whatever you have to do to get your, especially the likes of Mustafi, whatever you have to do to just drag yourself out of this hazard bullshit that you keep doing every time he's on the ball.
I said it already, Chig. Mustafi is going straight to hell when the judgment day comes. When judgment day comes for all the sins he's committed in defense against Arsenal, that boy is going to hell. The thing is, haven't you noticed an improvement in commitment and desire since Wenger announced that he would be leaving? Haven't you noticed that? Because I've seen it. I've seen a lot of players putting a lot of effort, like especially Bellerin, who has been very questionable. Yeah, that's the one that's really. I think where the hell's that been all season?
Yeah, Hector's playing for his future. Make no bounds about it.
Well, there you go.
Xhaka, with the exception of today, I actually think Xhaka's had an improvement since the announcement. To be honest, do
you remember that top 4 show we did with Robbie a few months ago? Right. Yeah. Cast your mind back to that, and I'm sorry to do my whole Stelstradamus thing, but I said the back end of this season will determine a lot of these Arsenal players' careers, with or without Wenger being there, right? And because the fans have had enough. The fans have had enough, and the players know this now. They know that the fans ain't going to take any more of their shit anymore, you know, and too right. You know, there's a lot of players there that shouldn't be at Arsenal, and I've been saying this for ages. A lot of players. So it hasn't surprised me that a lot of players have stood up. They're starting to be counted, which is why I think that you guys are going to go through against Atletico, because that commitment is there, the heart is there, the fight is there. You know, and whether it be to play for their own careers, whether it be for the manager, whether it be for the fact that they're not going to be in the Champions League if they don't win it. There's so many different factors. I think Arsenal will win it. I really do. And I'm not saying it because I'm on an Arsenal show. I genuinely think they'll win it.
I hope to God you're right.
And Ola, what do you think for Thursday? Give me a quick prediction.
I mean, I would take another 1-0 extra time and give them a sucker punch like we got today, because obviously they know how it feels to get a sucker punch. We've got 2 sucker punches in a row. Yeah, last Thursday from Griezmann, that was a sucker punch, like it or not. Today, another one from Fellaini, another sucker punch. It's about time that these guys get it together and go deliver one of their own. And you know,
to be fair, Ola, we're actually top of the league for getting last minute points and taking last minute goals. So we are very good.
You know, it's something that I think would come in useful, because you know, this game that we're talking about could end up going 120 minutes, and everybody has to have their mind right for this game. The only thing for me is the guys that made the mistake that cost us on Thursday, you know, have they been held accountable? Are they going to be held accountable? Based on today's performance, I will put one of them youngsters, or even maybe even both of them, on the bench, just to remind Mustafi that if you start fucking about, Mavropanos can come on. Yeah? If you don't do what you're supposed to do, Chambers can come on, because they performed so well against a very, very good Manchester United team. So, albeit, I'd say 1-0 again, extra time, and hopefully we get to deliver a sucker punch of our own, and advance to the final.
For me, I suspect we'll win. I actually will go as far as to say not. I've got this strange feeling we'll win 2-1. I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say that.
We have to aim to score 2 goals, because we can't defend for shit. So I think 2 goals at a minimum is what we have to go for. And
so what I'm saying as well. Second was just sucker punch. I just want it to be a sucker punch, man. I want to feel happy about sucker punching a motherfucker.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I mean, I know what people will say. People say this in the comments later and in the chat room now. That, oh, what are you guys talking about? Do you know what Atletico Madrid's defense is like? They haven't conceded this. They said the same shit about AC Milan, and we did well there. So, and records are there to be broken. I mean, my gosh, there's no point even turning up then if we're going to be haunted by this record.
when Atletico played Real Madrid in the Champions League final, they were 20 seconds away from winning it. You know, it's not about, you know, records and all that. It's about playing until that full-time whistle blows. What happened? Gareth Bale got the equaliser, and then they went on to win it, Real Madrid.
Absolutely.
You know? The thing is, as I said before, Arsenal play with such intensity that I don't think Atletico will like it. They won't like it at all. And as I said, when you've got someone like Mkhitaryan and Ozil pulling the strings deep, you know, they will come deep. They'll be breaking the lines, sitting in those pockets, getting in areas of the pitch that Atletico aren't really used to. Which is why I think you guys, and I think you'll hit them early. I think the first 20, 25 minutes, you get a couple of goals.
And I think it would key to hit them early because they won't.
You have to, though. You have to go for it, though. You have to go for it. That's the thing.
That defend deep and are well organised, they always take a while to get going. So I think initially, the first 20 minutes are absolutely crucial.
It is crucial.
Absolutely crucial. So,
you have to be old school Arsenal and just go for the jugular. I remember back in the day, in the 97, 98th of the season, we went unbeaten. The game would be over in the first 20, 25 minutes because you'd have blitz teams. And that's what you need to do. You've got the players. I don't see why not. I don't get this like this. You know, if it was at the Calderon, their old stadium, then I'd be like, you know, the crowd are above them. But it's a pretty stadium. It's a nice little happy stadium, and you know they're gonna have flags and all this stupidness. You know, come on, man! Like it's going to be an occasion for like a carnival more than anything. It ain't going to be a football game. It ain't a hostile environment anymore. Just they're going to go for it, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, still, you 100% correct in your analysis. The only problem that we've got is we are our own worst enemy most of the time, and I think that's what's worrying a lot of the fans.
Yeah, but don't forget, you were only a Koscielny fuck up away from winning. I mean, you know, he took his eye off the ball. He lost concentration, and that's why. And to be honest, even Griezmann's goal was lucky because Mustafi got a touch onto it. Do you know what I'm saying? So you know, it's fine margins. I know it's all ifs and buts, but you know, it's not as if they were bombarding you. I think that was their only clear-cut opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they were.
So, well, there you go. There you go.
That's what's so hard about it. But
that's football, man. If you don't take it in the balls, then where are you going to take it?
That's true. That's true. All right, lads. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was thinking for an answer, and I thought, oh no, you know what? I ain't answering that.
Thank you so much for coming on, guys. Stel, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter taking the piss out of people at the only Stel. That's ST3L because my previous one was suspended thanks to Chris Smalling and his representatives. Fuck you.
Okay. And obviously your podcast as well. Come on,
at Shoot the Defense. It's an easy one, not suspended.
Come on, bro. Yeah, what about your podcast?
Huh?
What about your podcast?
Yeah, Shoot the Defense. Yeah, the United one as well.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, Viva Red Army at RedArmyViva. Yeah, I'm going to do a review with Rodri later, Rodriguez. So yeah, hold on to your seats.
Wicked.
There you go, and check that out. And for anybody who doesn't know, who's watching this in the playback, look in the description below. For the 100+ that are watching now, give me 5 minutes, and look in the description a little bit later, and all the details are in the description below. And also, while you're at it, give me a subscribe and crush that like button.
What about Ola?
I'm about to tell you where you can find Ola. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Black Scorpion 3. Loads of banter on there. Like I always say.
Oh, that's you, is it?
Know?
Oh, yeah, that's you, is it? I'm coming up there, don't worry.
And yeah, I like talking about combat sports as well. So you know, if not wrestling, but UFC, boxing, yeah.
You know what? You've just reminded me, right? Can I say a massive congratulations to my friend Art Davey, who's actually inducted in the UFC Hall of Fame. I'm actually fucking chuffed for him.
Big up for that, man. Big up for that still.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that's where you can find me on Twitter and Capital Scorpions TV on YouTube. Got some content on there. Check it out. Gonna be back in full effect in the new season because I've been grinding and working. But yeah, that's where you can find me on my social media.
All right, people. And from me, I'll probably be back, I would imagine, on Tuesday to do a show. might see if I can hit up my old partner Lee and see if he's about, and we'll do a little preview for the Atletico Madrid game, because it's such a big game. We need to do something live for that. So I'll see what he's saying. I know he's been very, very busy this weekend, so I'll catch up with him and see if he's available.
And actually, let me tell you one of Lee's wishes earlier on. He did call Mkhitaryan to score, by the way, because I was speaking to him earlier on.
Oh, okay.
And there's one thing Lee gonna wanted on Mkhitaryan's shirt. Fuck you, Jose. So shout out Lee Gunnar for that one there. I'll say to him, so where's the shirt? It's like, God damn, he didn't put the shirt out. But yeah, he did call Mkhitaryan to score today. So well call for that, man. Big call.
There you go. See, we don't all hate Mickey Stel. We don't not at least not yet. Anyway.
Watch your mouth.
All right, people. We're out of here. Take care.
Salute.